March already. Jesus, a whole month flew by without realizing. Luckily, time is funny that way, for fasting can be an eternity for some, where for others it may be but a fleeting moment. The hardest part of it is the waiting, the constant waiting. Anyone who has gone on diet or attempted fasting to bolster up the health knows this type of waiting. It's not a nervous wait like that before surgery or before a first date. It's not anxiety either. It's just the yearn to have that which you are fasting from. Music is no different from this. By accident and some purpose, music fasting entered my life. Truthfully, it began out of superstition and my affinity for rituals. Thou shalt not listen to the artist to be seen that night, I hear in my head, making God's voice sound like that, I guess. Whatever that is. The simple rule was easy enough to carry out, and with it I began to see the benefits from fasting. The songs, they were louder than before, went beyond flesh and bone and reached my soul with much more ease. Maybe there is more to this. Maybe 12 hours of fasting isn't enough. Experimentation began. A day maybe. A week. I was happy with that number. That is the extent of the purposeful part of me discovering musical fasting. Everything changed in my early 20s. Weed, 60s rock, hippie culture, the Grateful Dead, jam bands, local music, local festivals, all these facets taking over my life meant some artists and their rotation in my ears were going to take a hit. Least expected of these casualties was Tame Impala. An avid listener, I would listen to Tame pretty much daily, alongside Aussie music, indie, and alternative. And I would make concerts here and there, either at festivals or more mainstream venues around the city. In the blink of an eye, it had been 5 years since my first Tame show in 2015, and all I knew was they were closing Shaky Knees in Atlanta that year, and I was already on a plane flying down there for the weekend. Tame is a big contender in airport travel music, and before I could hit shuffle, I realized I couldn't remember the last time I actually actively listened to Tame. Was it a month? A year? Shit, was it more than that? Since then, my attempts at quantifying it have returned an average of perhaps 3.5-year listening hiatus for Aussie music. I was in the driver's seat now, ready for takeoff. I could listen to Tame on an 1.5-hour flight, or I could wait 2 more days to hear it again since that time, live, in a massive crowd, after a full weekend of music. The answer was obvious. The results, much less so. The experience was like no other. Hearing tunes for the first time in so long, such a welcome to my ears. I was on fucking fire. God damn it, was I on fire. Post-show, if one was near me walking down the streets of downtown Atlanta at midnight, you would hear me yelling over and over all the street bands playing, "Kevin Parker is God! Kevin Parker is a god!" A quick ride to the Ferris wheel to calm myself down before heading back to the hotel, watching the second to last episode of Game of Thrones, realizing what I had come across. The fast. It must be longer now. For the few that are worth it. They truly are worth it. Musical fasting. A day, a week, a year. It may be for you. Just a couple weeks until Tame and Kurungbin. I can make it. I can make it. I must. no matter how hungry I get.
Guys, little funky meters.